Hello and welcome to the second project in our It's the Season online event. We continue working with our new collection called It's the Season. For the second project, we're going to be creating a December daily, or you could change it into a mini album. I'm going to be working mainly with our booklet. Our booklet is a 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter booklet, and it is a combination of the full pack and the essentials pack. Okay, a little bit of everything in there. You will also need some of your leftover paper from your full pack and your essentials pack. And I'm going to be working out of this Croxley lever arch file. If I remember correctly, it measures 24 centimeters across, 25.5 centimeters down, and 8 centimeters across. It could be, yeah, so 24, 25.5, and I know the spine is 8 centimeters. Right, you'll need that. And then you have to decide if your December daily is going to consist of up until the 25th, or if you're going to carry right through till the 31st. I'm only going up until the 25th. If you're doing up until the 25th, you need to cut some cardstock. You can choose what color background you want. This collection looks good on white, black, and craft. I haven't tried it on brown and cream, but I know craft, white, and black really look nice. But I've chosen to go with some black plain cardstock. So if you're going to go up to the 25th, you're going to have to cut 16 pieces that measure 15 centimeters across, 21 centimeters down. You want to make sure that it fits into your lever arch file comfortably. So I've still got quite a bit of space around mine. I know that you get the smaller ones as well, so just double check that this will fit. If not, you might have to cut yours just slightly smaller than the measurement I've given you. Right, once you've cut out 16 of them, you're going to find the center and punch your holes, and these are going to go inside like that. Right. Now, obviously, with it being in the lever arch file, I was a bit worried that once we've added the pattern paper and embellishments, that this will become a little bit heavy and may hang and move in the lever arch file. So I just wanted to reinforce the spine a little bit. And to do that, you need to again go through, there is quite a bit of leftover paper from the previous project. So for this one, this tinsel and tangle, we only cut up the one side. I'm going to use this other side of this one. I chose to do a mixture of red and green. So I know that you will also have, for this one, for example, you would have fussy cut all of this out, and you'll have this side left. So we can use this, what's left over of that. And then for this one, I cut this piece off and I used some of this. So it's a mixture of these three that you're going to then cut. In total, you need 32 strips that measure 2 centimeters across, 21 centimeters down, okay? A mixture of them. So what I did is I did 16 out of this, 8 of these and 8 of these. If you want more of the dot and less of this pattern, then that's up to you. If you want to do them all out of this, you can also do that. Okay, so you've just got to figure out, or maybe you want to choose a different pattern, something that's a little bit less busy. So basically what I did with that, let me just put this out the way. Basically, I have cut this 2 centimeters by 21 centimeters. I then took a paper distresser and distressed all the way around the edges, okay? And then we're going to just reinforce the spine. I'd like to just do one of these before we get going with anything else. Right, and then just used some glue. So, where's my mat? Okay, then one of the other things I like to do is just, because I don't want to have to go backwards and forwards with an inking mat, I just use this mat that comes on the glass medium, the Tim Holtz glass medium mat, a bit of masking tape and put it down, and then I can use that to glue on. It's easier to clean up and everything like that. Okay, so I put some glue around the holes of the background page and then did a little squiggle, because when you put glue on the back of this, you don't want to have to punch through glue, through wet glue. So, and then on this piece I just put glue around the edges. So I have my glue down the middle and then on the edge, and we're just going to attach that to this like this. Make sure that it's flush. You see there's a bit of an overhang. Because I'm working with wet glue, it gives me an opportunity just to slide everything back into place. Once I know I've got it in place, I'm just going to burnish that so that there's a good bond. Okay, so we're good. And then I will take my hole punch, line that up, and punch. Okay, then this just reinforces the spine. On the back of this one now, I would use do the same thing using the green one. I haven't cut this one the right size yet. Okay, so my suggestion is that you do this. I'll show you. So I've already got all my work prepped. So I have on the front, I have the red. When we page over, I've got green, and then I've got a red again, a red spine. Okay, so that gives you a good idea where we're going with the booklet. Right. Okay, so the next piece in the prep work then is to go through the booklet and decide what it is you want to use. Right, the first thing I did was, out of my booklet, cut all these numbers out, and then I punched them out into round. You are welcome to keep them square, or you can make them round. It's entirely up to you. I just used a 1-inch punch and punched out the numbers, lining them up nicely so that I get a stripe at the top and at the bottom. Once we've inked it, you barely even see that. Right, so you can do that. I've also have a little bowl off to the side that I put them into once they were punched out with my paper clips, because those come in handy with planning. Right, then the easiest, I think, is to actually get started with a booklet, and from there decide what it is you want to use. So this is stuff left over from the first project, the bigger project. Here is some of the stuff that's left over from me putting things together, but I've kind of put them into 3 little containers. Here's some more fussy cut and things that are cut out. So I've kind of put them into containers so that it's easy for me to get to. Off to the side here, in another container, I also have some washi tape and my construction tape for when we cover the file. Right. So over here is my leftover paper and fussy cut elements and journaling cards from the previous project. I've got everything here so it's easy for me to get to. I have my, underneath all of this is that's all that's kind of left over from my bigger pieces of paper. All right, and then everything that I have fussy cut is on another tray next to me. So I've got the cups of hot chocolate, that's over there. The little girl, I've got the big ones, and then the smaller ones that I've cut out. The little boy, there's that. So the different sizes and different kinds of things I've kind of put together. And there you can see the candy and the candy. Here's some sentiments that I've got ready to use. I've got the medium tickets, the very small tickets. Here's some of the Christmas trees that I've done. There's the bows. So everything is sorted out and easy for me to get to when I start to embellish the pages. So I think your prep work is just as important as actually getting the work done. Right, so once you've got everything sorted out and you know where everything is, we can actually start with putting the album together. So we'll start off, I think, by covering the album so that as we finish the pages we can add them in. I've already done some of the work just for the sake of time. Right, so I'm going to be using some construction tape. If you don't have any of this, you can then just use black cardstock to do what I'm going to do. Right, I've already put tape down the front of the sides of the file, and I want to repeat that process on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to just put a piece of tape kind of to cover just to cover this. It doesn't even have to be straight, because your paper, once you put your pattern paper over here, you won't even see this piece. I just want to make sure that it's not making air bubbles. So I'm putting this one on to line up over here. I don't want it to overlap. I probably should have put the inside piece on before I did my bottom, but you know, nothing ever really goes according to plan. Let's give this tape is super sticky. All right, so I'm just going to use that, just get that straight and line it up with a piece. Like I said, it doesn't have to be super straight, but you don't want to have any air bubbles in it. All right, there we go. All right, once you're happy with where you've got it, I suggest that you then burnish that in place. Just rub along the little ridge in the lever arch file to make sure we get this on. There we go. That'll work just fine. And then we need to do the same thing over here. It looks like it should be long enough. I'm just going to make sure that I get it flush against the mechanism, because I won't be able to put any pattern paper there, and I don't want it to overlap that little over there, but I do want it there, and there we go. That'll work. Again, we can then just burnish the one side, either side of the little ridge in the file. There we go. Remember, all of this you can do with plain cardstock. Right. Sorry. Okay, I don't want this to be like this, because it is going to create a bit of bulk. If I'm unable to, which I can see I'm not going to be able to take it off, I'm then just going to trim off that little fold, just so that that doesn't create extra bulk on my page. Well, not on my page, when I put the pattern paper on. And again, you want to make sure that the construction tape is on nice and smooth, that there are no air bubbles, and that there's a good bond. There you go. Happy with that. Right. So now we are going to add tape around this edge. Okay. I will do the top and the bottom first, and then I'll do the sides. Alright, so I'm going to pull the tape out to more or less the width of the file. If you don't want to use paper and you don't want to use tape, then the next suggestion is that you actually paint. You can then paint the sides of your file if you want to. Okay, I'm just making sure I've got a good bond. Trim that off. Right. I've just pressed this down. I haven't burnished everything yet. And one of the things I like to do is just lift the file. Make sure that before I start to tighten the tape in place, then just gently tuck it over. You want to make sure that you put it on firmly, but not too tight. You don't want to stretch the tape too much. You just want a good bond, and you want to make sure that it gets where it needs to be. So I'm making sure that the tape keeps its natural form, but I am making sure that I'm pulling it tight enough against the file that it doesn't make a ridge over here. Like that. Before I burnish again, I'm just going to fold it. Check on this side, looks good. There, everything. Can you see there? It's made that little bubble, so we're just going to work that out. So I'll start on the inside of the file, again just around the little ridges, and then just burnish that in place, like that. And then we can do the same thing on the front. I'm going to work into those little grooves, and then just work any kind of air bubble I can see, I'm going to work out. Right, looks right. And this side as well, good. I think I've got quite a good smooth blend, and that it really is touching nicely on the edges. Right, that looks good. Then the last little piece we're going to do is the side. For this one, I like to take the tape slightly past the file. Okay, let me show you. So this time I'm going to take the tape so that it's just a little bit past the file itself. It's not the same width or same length as the file. Wrong scissors. There we go. Right. Again, okay, and then the other thing I do is I use my mat, the lines on my mat, to pop the tape in so that it's straight. Again, it doesn't have to be 100% straight, but you don't want it to go super skew either. Okay. Good. Then I'm going to bring the file so that it's more or less halfway on the tape, something like that, and then just gently press that down. Okay, I'm going to use my craft knife to miter the corner slightly. Right, so I just want to take this past here. You could use your scissors as well, but I find it very, very sticky and difficult to handle this and the scissors at the same time, so a craft knife seems to be the easiest way. And the same thing here, I just want to run that a little diagonal, and I'll show you now that I'm not cutting right against the corner of the file. Okay, let's take that little piece off. My hands are still covered in paint. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this, you can see there's that gap. I'm going to take this and turn it in, and then just work that corner in so that it makes a little bit of a fold. Okay, and the same thing here, I'm going to take it in and then just turn that in and work that in, and it'll make that little bit of a fold. Just work those, just work that into place so that it's nice and flush. These little pieces that are folded over, we can then trim them just slightly, just a slight little bit more. I would rather have a little bit of extra to work with than have my corner exposed. So just trim away that little bit of excess. Okay, and then the same thing, I like to work from the middle. You're going to just turn it over. You're going to apply that, put a little bit of pressure so that it pulls tight against the file, and then we can just burnish that in. When we add our pattern paper, it will hide all the joins and anything that we have sticking out. Okay, here we go. I'm quite happy with that. And there you go. That's then the sides of your file done. The next step then is to just add pattern paper. I'll add the pattern paper now, but I'll actually do the decorating right at the end. Because once, I might even do the decorating after I've done my December daily. I've cut my paper to measure 24.5 centimeters down. You can use whole sheets, or you can split your sheets, your patterns the way I'm done it. So 24.5 centimeters down, and this one I cut to 14 centimeters. And my plan is then to have it over here, and I'm going to attach this one next to it over there. So I'll line them up so that it's the same amount of space all the way around. Okay, see here, and then I will have this as my spine. Okay, so you can see how that is going to work, right? And then I want to do the back, and so this is the piece that's at the front on this part, and I want it to feel like it flows over into there, and then I have this little piece here. I will give you the measurements of everything now. Right, so that's going to go like that. Right, so this piece, also 24.5 centimeters down, 10 centimeters wide. Then so we'll call this pattern 1. This is pattern 2. Pattern 2, 24.5 centimeters down, 20.5 centimeters across. And then your pattern paper number 1, 24.5 centimeters down, 4 centimeters across, and that'll go there. The spine is also 24.5 centimeters down and 7.5 centimeters wide. So that's what we'll be adding on the front. I've also already inked around the edges of everything. For the inside, this is a little bit trickier because we can't exactly take the mechanism out so that we can put our pattern paper underneath, but that doesn't matter. So I selected this one for the back inside of the file, and this one measures 17.5 centimeters by 24.5 centimeters down. My plan is to have this one here. I am going to bump it up against the mechanism here. All right. Then for the spine, I've chosen this stripe, 24.5 centimeters by 7.5, and it fits in there perfectly. For the inside front cover, I'm going to use some more of this pattern paper. So this pattern paper number 1 is 12.5 centimeters across, 24.5 centimeters down. And then this pattern paper, I've just used the back of it. So still your pattern paper number 2, just the back of 11 centimeters by 24.5 centimeters. And that is my plan is to have that in over there like that. Once I have everything in place, I have this little piece. I've cut it a little bit wider than it needs to be so I can tuck it under. It's 7.5 centimeters across, and I'm going to it's going to slide in over here like this. Okay, so once I've got this in place, then I will do this little piece is going to go in at the bottom like that, and the leftover piece I'll put in like that. Okay, so then essentially it's just this tiny little bit that we're going to see on the mechanism, but again we can hide that with some paint or with some washi tape, but it's not going to make much of a difference to that tiny little bit of black sticking out. Okay, so that is my plan on how I'm going to cover the front and the inside. So I'm going to quickly do that. I'm going to put on some music, stick everything in place, and I will see you in a bit. Right, there you go. There's the front covered, the sides. Obviously when I put glue on, I missed a spot here, so I struggled a bit to get it to stick, but it's stuck now. And it looks like I will have to go in and do the same thing here. And I'll do that a bit later. Just maybe I haven't burnished that part on properly. We'll see. There we go. So that's the back of it done. And then if we open up, then that is also done. So you can see that I didn't stick this paper. I should have attached it slightly further away from where the fold is, because the fold is not necessarily where it should be, but I will be able to fix that later. I can just add a piece of washi tape or something here that'll keep that in place. So just remember to attach your pattern not flush against this fold, but slightly away. So here where this join is, I want to hide that by adding some washi tape. So I have a basket with the tapes that I'd like to use. I have that on hand so that it's close by and easy to get to. Alright, I'll just take out the ones that I want to use. So I'm thinking that maybe just something plain and subtle like this. And then I can run this one over that mechanism and slightly over the join. It doesn't have to be completely over that join, but by doing it this way, it gives the illusion. Just want to tear that off. All right. So now it looks like the pattern paper flows from one side to the other. Right, and I know that over time this will probably lift, so to prevent that, I'm just going to go in and give it a little slit with my craft knife there, and a little slit over here. Right, there we go. So then that'll allow me to push the washi tape down and around without it lifting at the bottom there. So over time it won't come off. Okay, so now it looks like a uniform join. I will at a later stage also probably add some washi tape over here across to go this way and then all the way around here, but the decorating of the front I will do completely last. But for now, just so that you can see how that gets done, I've also cut this Christmas wish list art, and I am most likely going to just attach that to the front of the inside cover of my album, just with a piece of just with a paper clip. I'm not going to stick that down. I'd like to be able to take it on and off. I might just attach something at the back. I might mat it onto some black cardstock if I don't stick it down. But I just want the option to change where I want that to be. So that is your album covered. Again, I'm going to leave this one closed for a little bit so that this spine can bond. Alright, so that is the album done. As we embellish the pages, we'll slot them in.